for committee, we have to have sufficient information in order to do that. Before I came into the big one, I made a list of things that I thought we needed additional information before intelligent decisions could be made. People, besides emotions that we heard, also provide additional information, and I think should be further research. And this may go a little beyond the fact of legal issues, but at some point, from a legal perspective, decision makers have to have enough information to intelligently form a conclusion, appropriate conclusion. So my suggestion would be that, and we will ultimately go to the point of tabling, would be that the motion be made that the additional studies be undertaken and research done, or provide information that will be necessary to be able to make decisions. And if that motion is made and seconded, then as a planning commission, I will hope the group and their engineering planners, I hope that the group could identify which areas they think they need more information in order to intelligently come to conclusions. I understand a good example for traffic study. I understand the traffic study being considered and maybe actually underway, but that's only one example. As a more general statement too, the information that an applicant must provide should be provided by the applicant, or the community in this situation should be requesting additional information from the applicant. The cost of that information should not be borne by the relative taxpayer. The cost of getting information sufficient to make decisions for its application should be borne by the applicant. I'm saying that up front so everybody knows that. That's going to be my recommendation. And they have to accept that fact if they want to proceed. So, what I suggest was that a motion be made to authorize these additional research and studies that provide this motion is adopted as part of the discussion. I'd like the planning commission members to identify what areas they think they need information in order to intelligently come to the conclusion.
That now some of their suggestions, what we're requesting to be researched on via email and call.
I think it would make more sense to do it now, for various reasons. One of which is that the interchange of communication and decisions can be made now, on rationalists for having our solutions we come to are going to be expensive. That makes sense, everybody. I think it would also be to authorize staff to conduct further research and studies that are deemed necessary in order that the commissioners will have sufficient information to vote on the 3 points that will probably be changed on tonight. So let's talk about it tonight, and let's identify what those topics are to give direction to it.
Yes.
But I think it's through discussion that we're going to come to that motion, right?
Right.
Iron out the
Motion second and then further discussion.
Now, if we wait for 4 seconds and vote on this, if it's adopted, then I think we have a discussion on what those topics are, and that will be further research.
I'll make a motion by me.
I'll second.
Will you any further discussion?
Vote on the motion, so. Let's vote on the motion first.
Okay.
Authorize.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
Motion carries, and that's for all three items on the agenda.
Yeah, all three, yeah. And then, I made a list of items that I thought, maybe for doing people choice, were important. First of all, I think that the staff, going this is planning and engineering, should contact committees that have similar, wishes, in order to determine the impact of this or not. And that covers the broad spectrum, but I think it would be helpful to have first-hand information from those other communities as to the reality of that use on the adjoining property. There's a question about the value of, reduction in value of surrounding properties. I think that probably could be researched, through assessors or appraisers and some of the cruisers. There's a statement that there's wetlands involved here, that may be, that should be checked, double checked or triple checked. There's a question about groundwater use. And this type of use certainly does require some kind of use of water to water the green fields. There needs to be some sort of information that indicates that it's not going to have an adverse impact on the water. There was a federal protected species, which requires a probably Fish and Wildlife, or Federal Fish and Wildlife Service. There were several assertions of some archaeological significance to the cemetery site, and they require contractors to be announced. As part of the determination of impact while researching other communities on noise, should be considered to realistically understand what the impact of these uses are in other communities. The issue of safety, police and fire, again, I think that to contact other communities and to contact our own chief of police and our own fire chief to determine what they foresee to be the realistic impacts of this type of development. And maybe those respective chiefs probably talk to the chiefs and communities where they have the same type of issue. And the same with crime. There was some comments made on crime, and again, I think it would be nice to go to horse's mouth to determine whether that is a real issue with this type of use. And if so, what we could do to deal with it. There's a real general underlying issue that has to be considered, certainly at the time as well as the board level, and that is, and some people aren't like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it. If you look at I-43, the Moreland Road, and you look at I-43 and Highway 83, we all know the direction that's gone. Moreland Road, 164, 83, and 67 are major north-south connectors to Waukesha County. Major east-west connectors are 94, Ruby Capitol Drive, and I-43. When you look at each one of those intersections, you see what the forces of economics result of. And that is likely, which is going to be some kind of intense development on the interstate highway, on the state highway. That's the reality of it. I don't like it. Move here, move to numbers.
Only gets to
But I could predict, I think, that there will be changes that are going to the footprint. That's just, that's the reality of it. But in any event, if indeed there be some more intense development, then what can we as a community lose by having low-based baseball fields, and what tax generates is going to occur with that compared to the hotel? Sometime, I'll predict, I won't be able to see it, but I'll predict there'll be hotel visitors, that's just not going to happen in my view. But this economic impact is very significant. And I think important. I don't know if that's a part of the conversation, or whatever else. I just want to repeat what I said earlier, that is the cost of these studies should not be borne by the village taxpayer. The applicant is the one who requires this information to be gathered, and therefore they'll have to foot the bill if they're going to go forward. Drainage and stormwater management is still a big issue, and that's going to be looked at, I think, very closely. The comments that were made by some of the people will totally be considered. Well, I think that's it, Lauren, as far as full time is, that may not be exhaustive. There may be other things, those are the things that I recognize, I thought, part of that information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Warren, I would answer.
He did say traffic.
Yeah, I know it's funny, the traffic studies are already out. But part of this process too is going to be, the staff is going to have to agree with the developer as to who does it. We want to have independent analysis conducted. So I know a company that I would suggest that do a hell of a good job for traffic study. If they're independent. If they were was paid, we come up with an objective conclusion.
What's wrong for storing water?
What about the TIF district? And how it's gonna extend to that area? We wouldn't be able to do it up there. So the TD one's gonna stay the way it is? Correct.
The guy in the back. You really made a really funny face at him.
Our website.
When was it done?
Permitting process for the DNR is going to be species that it's required. Well, yeah, it's all part of the process. The miniature decision required to be a DNR.
So, we need to do anything that was mentioned in our report that the electrical towers, the commission, the study of communication.
Yeah, they have these, but they can't approach on.
Look at that. That's a sidebar. That's against the law.
No, and I know there was the comment from grants for the college grade and stuff that I know they've been working on that. Some of the stuff, some of the people have been already moved to Waukesha. It's a matter of clarification on whether everyone has been moved, so that has to be researched as well.
We we can't hear you. I'm so sorry. I can't hear you. I don't know about anybody else. We can't.
Just barely.
So basically what we're talking about is the old cemetery that was there. There were some sites that were already moved to Waukesha. It's a matter of getting verification on whether or not everyone was moved to Waukesha. That process is still ongoing, so there really ain't nothing much at this point until everything's all verified on that end, because that comment had come up during public comments in regards to the old site up there.
All I added was that the village engineer covered this with, whenever you disturb 1 acre or more of land, the DNR gets involved. They take care of stormwater, groundwater, cemeteries, wildlife, all of that. They're gonna mandate all of that for permits, research, maps.
You're talking amongst yourselves. We can't hear you.
Thank you. So that's all. Back and forth there. Anything else? Did you guys study it?
Yes.
Yes.
So the 14 points that we have right now would be value, wetlands, groundwater and stormwater, contacting other communities with similar uses, noise, protected species, safety, sewer and water, roads, economic impact, the dark skies / lighting, traffic study, financing, as well as grave sites. That's it.
Impact, is it impact on police and fire?
That's 13?
Did they say that?
You can look at my list after the meeting. You're welcome.
We'll have minutes available from some source following the. All right,
Yes.
thank you.
You guys are changing the ordinances and the requirements associated with an application for zoning. You are putting on more restrictions than exist in your code. You can't do that.
Oh, bullshit.
So start on those, your name and address.
He's a developer.
People, I'm an aware with the width. My address is not in this community, but I'm the attorney.
But you can represent the,
The developer,
okay,
yes.
I appreciate that, we might have a private conversation. I think I'll say the same thing that you said as when you walked away from me, and that is, we disagree. All I'm saying is you need enough information to tell us who to come to decision. At this point in time, we're not gonna go into the detail that's required for permit. But we are going to go deep enough into it to determine whether this works and what the major impacts are on the community, people living in that area. We don't have an axe one way or the other the outcome of this, I only want it to be done for the quick. And I think that getting detailed information is what's essential to getting it done correctly.
That is not required in your application for zoning change. So what you're doing is setting a precedent for everybody that makes a zoning change, that they have to do all these reports. These reports are required later on in the process, not at this stage.
Well,
So if the village is going to do that, they should put it in their ordinances on what they're gonna put in their application.
I can't believe it's not.
The only available
No,
alternative to
your
deny it.
application-
I'm not doing this, I'm not doing the dispense with the way we're going to do it.
Quite right.
I disagree. But thank you.
You're not right with the law.
Yes, you are.
We're along. Plans report. We read motion.
Yeah, there's a discussion now.
Yeah.
Well, I think that what's in place, I just explained what was mean. And now we have detail, like, because there's a long road, that we need to develop and help support them. Okay. And the developer's been involved in it also. So I think we need to go forward with that issue, just get into the table and think about that.
I don't think he was doing himself any favors.
No report.
No report from fire inspector, building inspector, didn't hear from Jason. Jeff on engineers report, Will.
Nothing this evening.
Correspondence, went through all of that, I believe. Next meeting date is Thursday, February 19th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Please note, all future meetings are on the third Thursday.
And I think that before we reach the point where, from the health of the civic community here, we have to have sufficient information in order to do that. Before I came into the meeting tonight, I made a list of things that I thought we needed additional information before it delved into Susan's community. People, besides the emotions that we heard, also provide additional information. And I think